welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is someone who also hates reporter Ricky. It's Anande Boetes.
Hi.
Ricky.
I'm Ricky. I love that running gag. That's like one of the funnest things about this movie is reporter Ricky. Like we see him once, and then it's this whole thing about, damn you, Ricky.
And I love that Sheriff Hadley, Robert Forster, even says, why are you making these little comments, Ricky? Like everyone's just, Ricky's just a guy who makes comments, and he just gets really annoying. And I had violent thoughts towards Ricky.
Yeah, and his whole family.
Yeah.
Like what? Like we literally see Ricky in the beginning. We see him once. I've been wondering, like, were there like extra scenes that they maybe shot with Ricky that they took out, or was it planned from the beginning? I mean, I love it either way because it just works. Like you see him once, you don't even see his family, and then it's like, I've had such hateful thoughts towards Ricky and his entire family. It's great.
Ricky's a kind of a punk, though. He has those little comments, and when he's back in AA after his sort of, well, I guess his, relapse, he says, you know, the killer. Wait, didn't they say that the killer? And then they said he said the suspect, and then they said the killer.
John keeps saying suspect, and then he's like, no, the killer, because they think they've caught the killer already.
Mm-hmm.
And
you know that's Ricky.
Like, yeah.
So
Ricky's
like,
I'm working on it, Ricky. I'm working on it, Ricky.
Ricky's such a brat. I mean,
he is. He's a real reporter brat. Like, I think that is how, like, people, like, anyone that has to deal with, like, reporters all the time, guys in law enforcement and stuff, I think that's how they genuinely feel. Like, oh, you again. What are you going to ask me now? What are you going to say now? What are you going to point out now? I think it was very funny, like, how they made that a running joke without us really knowing Ricky at all. Like, I think it was so great, so clever.
There's another throwaway line in this movie that I really like where one of the officers is like, I should just be catching people with DUIs. Which I thought that was kind of funny because it is a ski town, and that's pretty much the majority of probably the arrests that they make. Probably just rich people driving around drunk. But I just love that line. It was just little touches here and there that just make this movie so rewatchable. And you and I have been fawning over this movie ever since I think we had our first somewhat, not argument, but disagreement when I picked this as my first pick in the 2020 horror draft. Remember that?
Yeah, because when I watched this movie, I asked you, oh my gosh, because I fell in love with this movie completely from the beginning, because it's got a bit of an absurdism twist to it, and I love like absurdism like type of stuff and angles to the story, and because I mean it's a heavy story and there's a lot of heavy themes that we'll like talk about now and stuff, but gosh, like the comedy was just so great, and the way they like just did it was so great. So yeah, I asked you, like, did you watch this movie? And you were like, yeah, I don't know how I feel about it yet. Because I don't know, I think you maybe like didn't watch it, like, because we watch so many movies that sometimes you put something on, but you're actually working on something else. I don't know what your deal was, but you were like kind of, I don't know how I feel about this movie yet. And I was like, oh my gosh, I freaking love it. Like, and I started talking to you about it, and you were like, okay, cool, I'm going to watch it again. And then you started thinking about it, because then you, like, told me, oh, okay, now I love it. And then you go pick it in the draft, and I'm like, oh, you sly fox, you.
I had to do it, because this movie has really grown on me. So when I first watched it, I think you're right, I didn't give it the full attention it deserved. But I loved just how angry John was. I loved how the werewolf wasn't what you'd expect. I liked, those are just moments that stuck in my memory. Because you and I, we have to forget about movies because we're watching so many more almost every day. Like, we kind of have to create more room. But in this film, when his daughter at the end punches the box, you know, you get violence and anger sort of passing down. You see how like anger can go from father to daughter. And then I loved just his freakouts and how he beat up her boyfriend, like his daughter's boyfriend. That just made me laugh. Oh my gosh. And just
that is my favorite scene. Like,
and then the mom too, right? Remember the mom is like, what did you do wrong, Brock? Like she gets mad at Brock. And then the coroner claps in his face and then you have a fist fight. I mean, it just built on me because it's such a unique creation. And then Jim Cummings, the director, writer, producer, he was on the Rotten Tomatoes is Wrong podcast, and he did The Beach, where he talked about the Leonardo DiCaprio movie. Listen to him. He was super cool. I absorbed this movie some more. Then I think I've watched it 6-7 times now, and I always find something new. Like I mentioned to you this morning that he just punches himself in the face when he leaves that AA meeting, and then his tooth comes out later. I mean, but that's such a believable little thing, and if you blink, you'll miss it. And it's just such a rewarding experience. And this is the best part of this movie. 87 minutes.
Yep. Love it. In and out. And I swear, every time I watch it, it feels shorter and shorter. Like, you know, it doesn't get old. I've watched this movie like 6-7 times now, like, as well. Like, and it's, maybe more actually, because I really love this movie. And it's really, like you say, every time you see something different, I would like urge people to watch it again. It really just gets better and better with rewatches because there's so tiny little details. Like you talk about, like, I should just arrest people for the DUIs. Like in the beginning, when they're in the diner, PJ and Brienne, our first victim, like they're sitting in the diner, and those other two guys do that like gay slur. They throw that like gay slur and pisses PJ off. If you look, you'll see behind the what's the short guy? What's his name?
Oh gosh. Oh man.
Yeah, the local guy, right? So just look behind him, and you'll see like the posters. There's posters. Jeremy. Posters on the wall. It's Jeremy. Yes. Posters on the wall, and there's one that's like. Says warning, like in Utah we like don't drink and drive because in Utah we like find people aggressively. Like there was a thing about, so there's like these little things that play into each other the whole time with this, like little bits. It's really it's great on a rewatch. You even start seeing more and more of horror movie references, like we've got in the beginning where PJ and Brienne is driving home, that aerial shot, that's the Shining shot. We've got Officer Julia talking about, so if you see like a Michael J. Fox character walking around, like we've got that whole thing. I'm no Hitchcock expert, but I swear like when PJ finds Brienne's body, that's very Hitchcockian music playing in the background. Like you've got all these little things that you really start seeing in the rewatches, and it just makes it so much more rewarding because you see how much like detail and thought went into this. I think it's such a like it's a difficult movie to watch. Like there's some heavy themes in it, and I think it's difficult to watch if you're not like open to it, or if you maybe got like some issues with like how women are treated or like men in their anger or whatever. But yeah, I do think it just gets better and better the more you watch it. I mean, I loved it from the beginning, but I do think people should, like I read some reviews too. I'm not going to go off about the reviews. I actually told Corey before when I was preparing for this pod, I'm like, and I went off about one of the reviews. I'll tell you what it was about, but I told him maybe I should just start like a blog that's like Zaza reviews, bad reviews, and just like get all.
You missed the point.
All my anger out about bad reviews because someone was saying something about, Lord knows how long this full moon lasts in the movie. I'm like, excuse me, how do you think that was like a consecutive nightly thing? How did you not see?
No.
The movie started with the whiteboard saying October, literally had the New Year's song at the end. We literally had a shot of a half moon in the middle of the movie. I mean, it's just like those little things. But
and also,
I lost my train of thought.
That beginning scene that you're talking about with Jeremy, I liked his friend that was with him. So Jeremy's like, I beat this guy up and I hit him. And then his friend says, no, you hit him with a cheap shot. And then PJ confronts him about saying the slur, and his friend is behind him like, hey man, we're really sorry. We'll get out of here. So you have this really boisterous kid bragging, but his buddy calls him out and then is friendly about it. It's just odd. Like, why? I don't know why you have this side. I love that there's just this random side character who seems like a nice dude who just hangs out with a totally horrible guy. And
absolutely. And because like PJ's like, can I just ask you a question? Before he's all like passive aggressive, like, do you have internet? Because maybe you should teach your mom how to read. But he's like, can I ask you a question? And his buddy's like, is it going to be a rude question?
Yeah,
I love that too. I love that too. too, because I think what this movie is very good, and it establishes it from the get-go. It establishes the fact that, you know what, anger comes in different forms. Anger like manifests differently. Like we can all get angry, but like it's different for everyone, and the way we handle it is different. Because like you've got little Jeremy that he looks like he wants to spit flame out of his eyes, as he's looking at PJ. You've got PJ that's got this whole passive aggressive thing going on, but you can see the guy's muscles are already bulging for a fight. And then you've got the guy behind him. Like it's just these different kind of like shows how we're all different with the anger stuff. I love that. And then of course the girl that's like, what are you thinking? I mean, so relatable, so extremely relatable, because we literally get scared because we can see the worst case scenario happening when men get angry. I just think that first scene showed all of the different nuances very well.
I liked his scene breakdowns, Jim Cummings' scene breakdowns, because there's several shots where Detective Julia Robson, played by Ricky Lindholm, she's in the middle of either Chavez or John, or she's in the middle of Sheriff Hadley and John. So here's this lady who's really even keel, smart. She stays at home, does her research. She figures it out when she gets the clue from PJ. She saves John. She's got
it together.
Exactly. It's super cool.
In the end. It's a very happy ending with her being sheriff in the end.
Yeah, I love it. She buys gift baskets. She sees expired plates to take down signs. Just a cool person. But, wait, where was I at? I was going to say something here. Oh, she's always framed between Chavez and John yelling at each other. Or she's between, so it's really interesting that she's just stuck between all these really angry people. And you have the sheriff who's had a heart issue for about a year now.
Yeah.
I love that line. How long have you had it? Oh, for about a year. And his son.
That's stubborn.
Yeah. And it just makes me, I love it. I think it's such a neat scene. Also, I watched a scene breakdown where they find the second body, and John is running around like an idiot. He beats up Bo because Bo says it's a wolf, and the reporter puts a thing up. But he said,
"What is it?
What? Yeah, I love that scene. What is it?
They say it's a bear. It's a man. When do I get to be right about something?"
And I love that he's right the whole time. I kind of, he's like, this is not a werewolf. During that scene, the nice one take. I just love the anger in that. I loved kind of his yelling. He's drawn through everybody. He's not handling it well. I like this argument with Julia about being in a relationship. This movie's just so rich. Like I think, and we're gonna fawn on this film. I just think it's one of those movies that deserves more attention. And one,
it absolutely does. Yeah. Like it had it's got 89% on Rotten Tomato. Like it had a budget of $2 million. And it made $185K. Yeah, in a pandemic and everything. I don't think a lot of people even know about this movie, and it deserves to be known because it's really so rich. Like you say, it's so good.
I bought the Blu-ray just to see what extras were on it.
Yeah.
Not good. We need to get Jim Cummings on the show and record a commentary for The Wolf of Snow Hollow, because I was hoping for that.
Go through the whole movie. We'll do a watch-a-thon, and then you can just comment, and there we go. We've got it.
We'll bring him in. But watching the extras, I was kind of bummed out. It was neat to see how they built the werewolf, because there are certain moments. There's that wide shot of the werewolf standing over that body that looks beautiful. But they did a lot of it in people's garages. This is such a low-budget production. But I think it was really smart that they went to Utah, because there's a lot of stuff going on in Utah. They have a lot of holiday films from Hallmark and Lifetime shoot there. They had Yellowstone, but Yellowstone just moved to Montana. So there's a decent film crew out there. And I think what I love about this film is the locations really speak for themselves. And they look beautiful in the beginning shots. We actually have some interesting patterns here, because we talked about Devil on the podcast that was released in 2010, and it opens upside down. This movie has upside down shots, right?
And I also wanted to say, this is our second movie that we're discussing that's got like the upside down shots. And also, I think it's Natalie Kingston that did the cinematography on this, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So good. Beautiful shots.
Yeah,
beautiful. And she crushed it.
I just love the framing in this. I mean, it's such an excellent looking film. And then we also, what I think is interesting is we talked about Blackcoat's Daughter, which it kind of uses horror as a way to sneak in other themes. So,
Yes.
and so does this. I mean, this one uses, anger and werewolves to kind of talk about how anger and alcoholism pop up. And then we had Black Coat's Daughter, which was all about loneliness. So it's, I don't know, I love it. I think it's just what I love about horror. You sneak in certain, really relevant issues into a horror movie. And the one thing I worry most about this film is werewolf fans are pretty diehard. So when people watch this movie and are like, oh, I'm in for a werewolf picture, this is going to be amazing. It's going to be really interesting to see their reactions to this because, spoiler, it's not a werewolf, it's a human, a taxidermist. And I love how they built to that. We'll talk about all the clues that they led into later on. But but then they'll witness John's anger and just his fist fights and oh man, he's hilarious. I love that opening scene. Have you met my wife? Woof. Yeah, you met her. Oh man. I mean, and then, the only way to stay sober is to stay focused. Wait, what was that? And he just loses focus immediately.
I love that. Immediately. Yeah. That's how you start, him just like starting to lose it. I mean, because that's what's so good. Like, John's having a hard time how everyone else is dealing with these murders, right? Because everyone they can't believe that a human can do something this bad. No, it has to be a wolf. No, it has to be a werewolf. Like, these guys will literally rather believe, like, this mythology than, like, admit that, humans and men are incapable of terrible, terrible things done to women. So, I mean, oh yeah, okay, but let me just finish this thought first. So much to
This is MFF. We go everywhere. We pinball, so it's all good.
Everywhere.
Go wherever you want. It's fun.
So he's having a hard time. How everyone else is dealing with the murders, yelling at them, when do I get to be right about something? But he also seems incapable of dealing with anything himself. It starts off, It starts off all quirky with him rolling his eyes at his sheriff dad, freaking out about never having seen such a murder. And he rolls his eyes at the Pray for Brienne sign. He rolls his eyes at his co-workers at first, where they can't even call it a vagina. He's like, you guys need to deal with this case, but you can't even call, what do they keep saying? Her parts.
Her parts.
And now let the feral guys deal with it. We don't. It's like, guys, her murder is in our hands. This is why they say cops are bad, because you guys are just freaking incapable. But then he, slowly, how his frustration escalates and how everything just escalates. I think it was I love the script of this whole thing. I love all the lines. I love the way it just slowly unravels. But, from the get-go, okay. There's these little things that show you, okay, this guy is about to, lose it. This is a descent into madness for him.
He's about to thunder road it.
He's about to thunder road it. I just love it. I love this movie.
Is he a good cop?
He tries to be.
He's smarter than the other ones, right? But not Julia.
What I love is that, he's a very flawed character from the beginning. I mean, we open up where he's like, hi, I'm John, I'm an alcoholic.
Wolf.
Then he's got wolf. And then he's got these scenes, where he's taking out his buddies for not taking this seriously. But then he would also then say things like, who would want to throw a beer bottle at a cop car? He's like, and I think it shows so well, because I think that's all of us, we think we're aware of stuff, but everyone has their blind spots, and you think you do well, but everyone has their blind spots, everyone has their faults, and so I think his character is very cool in that he's not just a plain good guy trying to do the right thing. He's messed up. His whole thing with his wife in the beginning, it's also Jim Cummings is great with opening speeches.
Yes, he is.
Jim, we want you to do that in every freaking movie. Start with that great opening speech. Thunder Road was just delightful. But yeah, this one too. And he gave us so much, his whole attitude towards his wife and how he feels. And because he says, he doesn't want anyone to get hurt, but he does want that, lawnmower to just go through the house and just destroy. But what does he say? Because it just feels like he wants someone to
listen to him,
acknowledge that he exists.
Oh, that's what it is.
Something like that.
Yep.
So it's from the get-go, you see, okay, it's a pretty nuanced character. He's flawed.
His mother left him,
trying.
And he wants to impress her.
He's trying, and
his poor mom left him, right? Is this because your mother left you and you want to impress her?
No.
I'm the one asking questions here. You go to bed. Remember that? But it's such a brutal descent. And then he punches himself in the tooth. Knocks that thing out.
Oh my gosh.
He's a menace.
I love, like, when the first time I watched this movie, the reason that I liked it so much was because I laughed at the anger.
Yes.
Because I think anger is so destructive and can make us all fools, absolute fools. Like, we've all seen someone just absolutely losing it, so angry we look ridiculous when we do that.
Mm-hmm.
You think you maybe look like something in a movie, but you don't. You just look foolish and ridiculous. And I think that's what he did with this movie. Every time John, his character John, freaked out and, like, slapped someone or something, it wasn't like this, ooh, punch, bah, I got a shot in. It was ridiculous little slaps, like where he slaps the coroner, or where, like, he, one of the cop guys, when he's like, hey, can I talk to you? And he takes him, like, away from the scene, and, like, they try to fight, but it's just ridiculous, and it's so funny. I mean, I really enjoyed that because it showed the ridiculousness of how we think we become these, like, big, beware of me, like, monsters, and get out of my way, when meanwhile you look ridiculous.
Yeah, he did.
And then, like, the juxtaposition of actual monsters, actual people that go out and hurt women, actual, like, guys that hate women so much they do terrible, terrible things to them,
Mm-hmm.
I think I loved, like, the different ways the movie showed this. And also because, in effect, we have two killers in this movie. And I also like that. It's not just, the one wasn't just there for, like, distract from, so that we can have the big twist in the end. I thought that it showed how, like, the monsters come in different forms, and I just love that. There's really a lot in this movie. Sorry if I'm going on about it.
No, absolutely. And I like that I was watching this video about this film because I just want to get more extra, so I try to hunt down every interview I could find. And someone said that the guy in the trailer was what John would become in a few years if he just kept going down with alcoholism and drugs and his dad dying. So they said, I don't know, no one ever says that or goes that way, but I mean, he has the temper, he has the anger, he has been known to drink, the loneliness. Exactly. He might not have his daughter, he doesn't have his wife, so they're saying he's kind of that's what could be him in a few years with his anger. I don't know if that's true, but I like that theory is around that people could possibly draw from. And I'm kind of ashamed because the first time I watched this with the really tall, what's the word? He does all the taxidermy. This guy, remember when he's in his truck in the beginning yelling about his wife? Mm-hmm. And then he's under arrest and he's yelling about his wife. And then he's like, yeah, I'm not married. But also throughout the film, at the second funeral, he's sitting behind John. And they slowly focus onto him. He's in the pew behind him. Yeah. Which I thought was interesting. And then, I mean, just he wrote the book about taxidermy. And then you see the photocopies. So John's kind of getting there, but it's really interesting how they build towards the crime because Jim does say that he loves Zodiac, so he wanted to make Zodiac with I think with humor, like a funny Zodiac is kind of what he wanted. And so he said he based this movie on 5 different films. He drew influence from 5 films, and those are Zodiac, The Burbs, King of the Hill, Silence of the Lambs, and The Bird with the Crystal Plumage. I'm going to have to edit this and fix that correct word in here. But
you keep that in.
No way. Yes. So I'll come back and fix that. It'll sound horrible too. People are like, hey, what is that? I mean, you could see the Zodiac vibes in here, the kind of cold type acting, but then also you get the kind of Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks in A League of Their Own. And when he was younger, he did have this fun sort of angry streak. Like Forrest Gump beat the crap out of people. So he has this interesting cold Fincher vibe, but then you also have some Hanks Ian type stuff. And then some definite Silence of the Lamb vibes, because that dude is creepy when he walks up to the woman in the diner and he talks about her car. Yeah. I mean, and
that scene was so good. Again, very relatable. Like, our women need to, like, try and be polite because, if you just say it to them straight, Lord knows what the man will do. But then she's also like dropping like, yeah, no, me and my husband
Yep.
plan to send our girl to elementary. It's so good. Like, so it's little detail that just shows he knew what he was doing when he wrote this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I like smart movies. I like it when you can see people know what they're talking about. Like, and this movie was respectful as well. But listen, back to also the taxidermist, right? Did you see his face? So, okay, the first shot we have after we have the beautiful opening scene with all the shots from the ski town. The first shot we see of the cabin, we've got like the taxidermy animals in the cabin before PJ and Brienne enters. So we've got that
Oh.
already. And then when she's walking outside looking to turn on the hot tub water, like she's holding a piece of paper from a, like, welcome to the cabin thing, like a thingy, where she's reading the directions to where to go to open, and his face is on that paper.
Oh. I
Yeah,
didn't
go
see
check it
that.
out. Go check it out.
All right, I gotta
It's
go watch it
there.
again.
His face is on something later on, even before the taxidermy book. I can't remember. I made a note of it somewhere. But yeah, and then he's that typical like serial killer mentality, like told the cops when they were doing that string of interviews with people and like what they think and what they saw and blah, blah, blah. And he's also there. And he was like, yeah, I could have solved this already. And he was at the scene of the crime. And like, it's that typical serial killer vibe that was
Mm-hmm.
in there, which is cool.
Yeah, he comes back to the scene like, ah. And then he
Yeah.
stands up to full height and then stabs him against the wall.
Ugh.
Ah.
Like, how
It's
tall is that guy?
he's
I also
so
love.
the behind the
Sorry, yeah.
scenes clips. He's a tall dude. He's big, and they put him in the suit. They built the suit around him. He like his movements were really good. They did some behind the scenes stuff. So yeah, a big dude did it. It's cool.
Yeah. It's very good.
Mm-hmm. And poor John got stabbed into a wall. Oh man, he is a little guy, so I guess a big serial killer could do that to him.
Yeah, I mean, and with that force, because, like, yeah, that dude just wants to rip people apart. And you know what? You said this thing about, like, you wonder how werewolf fans would, like, enjoy it. I mean, I love werewolf movies. I love the myth of werewolves, but because it comes from us at the end of the day anyway. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, he's got that whole thing where it's like, okay, so werewolves in what does he say, the 18th century, when they found women in the woods and they couldn't believe men would do it, so they made up this whole thing about werewolves and like, I mean, the whole lore is about us anyway. So I think if you're gonna have a problem with that, then yeah, I don't really know what to tell you.
Did women have to deal with that since like the medieval ages?
Very good response. A very good response.
I love her reactions in this. She's just
Oh
so
yeah.
funny just to everything he says. But I gotta tell you, there's a couple things I really like about Jim Cummings, and it's like I was watching a lot of the behind the scenes footage. But what I love about Thunder Road, it was a short, and then he did a feature length, which was funded on Kickstarter. He eventually got that made. Then he made this, and what I love too is that they had to do some reshoots. And he said that the reshoots were the hardest part because when he wrote the script, it was freeing, it was creative, it was liberating. But he said the reshoots felt like an assignment. And the scenes that they added in when he was back at AA, so the AA room's the same room that deputy or whatever sheriff Julia is looking through all the evidence at the end, same room. But he said that was the hardest stuff to write because it felt like an assignment. And I get that, right? When you and I have inspiration, it really the writing flows from us. But when you get assigned some things, it's great because it's money, but it's also a little harder because it's not totally organic coming from us in like a creative zone. I thought that was pretty interesting that he
Totally.
said.
Yeah, no, totally. That's very relatable. I mean, it's fine and whatever, and you get that it needs to be done, but kind of feels almost separated from the work in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like these little things that you go add into. So yeah, no, that makes sense.
Just a neat thing. And then also in the, I guess in the script, or maybe they filmed it, but when she's in the car with John, when it's with Julia, yeah, and John in the car, she says to him, "This is a job. It's tough. You're gonna have to get used to it." And this is when Jim has been drinking. He hasn't gone back to AA. He's still, having a lot of issues. In the original cut, he kind of fights back at her. He's like, "Get your hand off my damn leg." And like he like really like tears her apart. And then they left the camera on her face for about 15 seconds as she just she put herself out there to him, then he just lambasts her for it. But I guess he had to cut it because they thought that his character was too unlikable. And he kind of talked about that later on, about how he hates the trope of unlikable characters, which isn't. Now, I do have an issue with characters who are supposed to be likable and they're incredibly unlikable because of bad writing or, editing. Yeah. But, sometimes you have these characters that are unlikable, but it does, they're different, I guess. So that's an unlikable character. But why do they have to be likable? Does that make sense? So he had a problem with cutting that out because he wanted to be unlikable. He wanted to be this alcoholic who was cornered and lashing out. But they took it out because they didn't want people to hate his character, which I would have, when he says those things, Anandi, when he spouts, it's more of a self-defense mechanism to me. I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been really mean, but you know what happens to people when they're cornered. I don't know. I'm kind of happy they cut that line, but I wouldn't have minded it if they kept it in, where he just sort of goes at her, like he just really rebukes her. Would you have liked that in?
Yeah, no, I hear you, and I agree. I asked Corey about it. I was like, why do you still root for John? Like, why would you say? Because we all still root for him in the end. Like,
oh, absolutely.
When you're watching this movie and like you still, but why? Because he's actually such like thinking of the right words to say here. He's got a lot of work. Let's say that. So why do you root? And he's like, well, because he's got his heart in the right place. Like you can see he is trying to be there for his daughter. He is trying to be there for like the victims of these murders, like their families. He's trying, and for me, I think I got it from his thing with his dad, because I feel like the biggest thing starts when his dad's health, like when his dad tells him, like about his health not being fine, and that's when he really starts to crack, and you can really see like how it bothers him. But I mean, I think he's just so human at the end of the day. It shows how there's this weird thing that people think you should be this virtuous, perfect person, but I mean, who is? Mm-hmm. I guess like the end of it, when he says in the end is the speech at the AA in the end, when he's like, when you're having a nervous breakdown, the only clue you have that anything terrible is wrong with your life are the wonderful people around you who keep asking, is everything okay? And you just go, yeah. Mm-hmm. I love that line, because that really just sums up what he's been going through this entire movie and what we saw. We saw a guy that, yeah, he's got a lot of issues. He doesn't know how to like deal with the women in his life. He doesn't know how to deal with a lot of people. He's definitely needs to work on a lot of stuff. It's happening, because then in the end, when he shoots like taxidermist guy, the werewolf guy, and like you can see like Officer Julia's mouthing, "Are you okay?" And he has this beautiful moment like before he shakes his head, "No," and then falls. Like it's so good, because that was like his thing. There's this thing where, and it's not only men, women too, but men are prone to it, to be stubborn. I don't need anyone's help. I'm fine. Like I've got this. I've got it under control. I'm a man. Like I can do this. And it's so.
We sound like that exactly too. Stubborn. I see it too. Because his dad didn't even admit to having a heart attack, so he probably gets that stubbornness, like that ideal from him.
Exactly. It's this thing that a lot of men do, and like I say, not only men, but you guys are more prone to it. Like, it's a stereotype, honestly. But I mean, that's the movie for me. It's like this guy that he's not okay. He's being stubborn, and you kind of want to slap him in the face and like snap out of it, and like going through this whole thing. And by the end of it, he admits he's not okay. I mean, the first time we see John cry is right at the end, when he's talking to his daughter and he tells her he loves her. That's when he cries. You know that scene where he's talking, when he and Officer Julie went back to PJ, and PJ's like going through all these emotions, and he's angry, and he's like angry at the cops, and he's crying because he's grieving because his girl is dead. And there's this moment where John looks at him like he doesn't even know like what he's seeing. Like, how can a guy be so honest and sincere about his emotions? That's John. Like, we see John really having to, okay, buddy, you haven't been dealing with anything emotional for your entire life, and this was the moment, all of these things happening. Now you kind of have to, bro. Like, go for it,
Wow.
So, yeah, I think It doesn't matter if you're flawed. I mean, if you have the capacity to like learn and go through stuff and come out better the other way, right on.
And I also like how there are some certain characters who are just absolute jerks for no reason. But I think a lot of people see John as easy bait. So when he goes into the meeting, when Chavez, not Chavez, when let's see, which officer is it? What Gutierrez says? Oh yeah, hangover. Like people needle at him. And they, he calls him John McEnroe, which makes me really happy. John McEnroe.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's my favorite tennis player. But people keep needling at him, though. Like, people spit in his face, or he gets yelled at. And
the coroner, dude, yeah. I would also slap the coroner through the face if he comes at me with those little hands, talking to me like I'm a child. Oh, my word.
There would be a fight.
The coroner is the worst. There would be a fight.
Yeah. You don't do that to people. Like, you don't. And also, no one knows that. Like the city cases that, like the other police forces, they're too busy with city cases. Or Quantico, the application will take a month. The FBI can't come in because, it wasn't on a federal highway. So they don't get the help they need. A lot of the sheriff is sick. He's going through a breakdown because his daughter has to stay with him during these murders. Then his dad is sick. He's not good at multitasking. The FBI, Quantico, all these people won't come in, and everyone just sort of aims it at the cops. Like, I'm not paying taxes anymore. So I like that. It's not just him being a jerk the whole time. There's a lot of things needling at him. So he doesn't need any help to be a pain in the butt, John. But I also like too that there's outside circumstances just keep coming at him. Does that make sense? So it's not just John being a jerk. People are needling at him. Things are always needling. So I think it's pretty interesting watching all that.
Him it's a werewolf. That's like saying, the fairies did it. I mean, like, that would drive you nuts if you're like trying to be logical about it, like going through the steps that you need to be going through, and your buddy is at the crime scene telling you it's a werewolf. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, that would, it's insufferable, and you understand his frustration with it as well. Like, even though you're watching the movie, or like the first time you watch it, you're like, but is it? But that's just because, like, it's the first time you're watching it and you don't know what you're watching. But, it's the other thing also now that you talk about, like, all of, like, not getting help from the outside and stuff. Another thing that I really love about this movie is that there are a couple of things happening. They've got, like, all of the women that sees the guy, right? And it's always off screen. You can see how extremely uncomfortable they get. Like, it's that female intuition of, this guy's bad news. I have a bad feeling about him, right? John, that's a cop that needs to go through all these stuff. How many times did they interact with this guy? How many times throughout the movie? But it's only when, at the end, after John has had some like, okay, let it go, that's gone, dealing with it, where he sits with the guy and he's like relaxed and just having a human moment. That's when he realizes, I love that, where you can see where he realizes.
Yeah, he sucks his teeth.
Oh, nailed it. Oh, I just got goosebumps. But like, that moment when he realizes, that was the moment when he was sitting there so relaxed. Like he was, like probably the most relaxed we've seen him in the entire movie. He was just being a human, having a conversation, asking him, yeah, cool. So I've gone for the weekend. You're gonna like, have a little piss up or whatever, like so normal. And that's when he realizes, the guy says something wrong. But I mean, and I love that because when you're highly strung and you're so used to, okay, this needs to happen, this needs to happen, this needs to happen, you're going to miss it. You're going to absolutely miss it. You need to also rely on that like intuition and stuff. So I also liked how that played out in the movie. Like very subtle. It's also a thing that with every rewatch, you see it more and more. But I really like that because, procedures isn't always going to give you the answer. So
I like it. I do like his moments of clarity. Remember when he looks at the coroner too? He's like, "You threw the glass bottle at our car." Yes. It's interesting how he's kind of going through these low spots, maybe introspective. That's when he starts catching people or figuring things out.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, before we go on break, I just want to mention real quick, I love the scene when he's with his wife and daughter, and she is just going at him. And he's like, listen, we have a serial killer in the town. I love my daughter, but I'm kind of busy. But during that time, you hear tea steeping, not steeping, or tea, like water boiling in a pot, just going, like, I can't make the steaming sound, but it just builds his anxiety. Yeah, there it is. It just builds his anxiety way up. And I like the sound design. I like the idea of it. It's, once again, this movie's just really well planned out, and I love it.
And I love that scene too, because I told Corey, that scene, because it immediately starts with his wife going off on him because like he's not, doing the dad stuff at all, and like she needs to be with him and whatever. I told Corey, there's two ways to look at that scene. There's a way of ex-wife like yelling at him hysterically in a diner or whatever, but it's also like she's telling him directly, pull yourself together. Mm-hmm. And like, because he's not dealing with anything. He's like apparently doing all these things, but what is really happening? Like nothing's really happening, I love that too. And I love it when he says, can we like not do this in a Bonanza? I don't even know what Bonanza is, but I love that.
It's a great restaurant. Oh, man. Cool. All right, so how about this? Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we will talk more The Wolf of Snow Hollow. We will be right back. Yeah. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. And I just want you to know, Zanandi, that I did my best to get this movie some attention with the Critics Association that I'm with. I gave Cummings some love for some certain categories. Now, he didn't get any, but I'm happy that I put his name in there. Because between this and Thunder Road, I had to promote him. Also, I learned he was a producer. So I also teach film at a college. And a lot of my students want to get into music videos or short form production because that's a really good way to get your foot into the door. But I learned that he produced a Little Dicky video called Save That Money. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No.
So
I haven't.
There's a rapper named Little Dicky, and he did a whole music video where he's saying, I don't have a budget. So they went to people with massive boats and asked, hey, can we shoot on your boat really quick for free? Then they went to mansions. And they went, hey, can we shoot in your mansion for free for production value? So they shot this entire music video for next to nothing by asking people if they can shoot in there. And I thought that was a pretty neat idea. So he produced 3 of those videos. And then after they went, they got millions of views, he said to himself that he could become a successful filmmaker. And, you look through his filmography, and he's been all over the place in regards to certain things. Like he was visual effects on Captain America Winter Soldier. He was a production assistant for ILM in 2014. He did a bunch of shorts. He was a co-producer, and he thought he was going to fall out of the industry. He didn't think that he would be too successful in there. And he was an associate producer on Krisha by Trey Edward Schultz, who did, what else did Trey Edward Schultz? He did Waves. So I don't know. It's interesting. He thought he was going to fail out of the industry. He was working as a production assistant. He was working as associate producer, and then he made his film. He made a short, then he got funding, made his movie, and it won a bunch of awards, and he got it distributed all over the world. Then he got $2 million from Orion, and now he's just crushing it. It's really neat, and I appreciate that with him because these films are earned by him. He didn't get a golden ticket to make these movies, no. And I think part of that is because maybe I'm wrong, but he has a vision. He has a style. He has an aesthetic. And I love that he stuck to that. And that's why I think he's one of the more interesting voices working today. I love his movies.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, I want him to get more recognition, honestly, because, you say now, because it is. He did the Thunder Road was a short. The short won at South by Southwest. Usually the shorts that win there, they go on to, get picked up and whatever. But Thunder Road didn't. So that ended up being the Kickstarter. And I was like, really? Yeah, I feel like, I don't know if people don't know what to do with Jim Cummings. Because then I'm like, okay, give me the money because I know what to do with Jim Cummings. I really love his vision. I really want him to, I think he's really worked hard and put himself out there. And you can also see, I saw his winning acceptance speech at South by Southwest. The guy just loves it too, man. And you can see he does. It's again that we said those little attention to detail also shows you there's care and thought into it. It's not just let's make movies and a lot of people can do that. I don't know. Yeah, I think I like it that he's doing stuff. I want more. like I said, also I mentioned, I did not enjoy some of the reviews that I read. I hope.
I think they missed that it's a joke on toxicity, or it's a comment about it. It's about anger and yeah. I really think people just maybe didn't watch it. Now, granted, it is 90%, but it should be like 148%. I don't know how that's possible. Could we make that possible? Probably not.
Yes,
right?
Yes, let's do it.
No, but
let's hack into Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, well, if someone plugs it like it's 147%. What?
Yeah.
I think it's just we watch so many movies, and it's really hard for particular films or moments to stick in my memory for a long period of time because mostly it's Deep Blue Sea, right? I'm 98% Deep Blue Sea, so the other 2% is fighting between thousands of other films. But this is a movie that's just really stuck with me. The moments. I mean, I know it's really simple, but just the daughter punching the box. You don't even have to explain it. You just need to see it. Like, it's just
exactly.
And but also some of just absurd moments in it too, where she's like, "You need to go to bed. You need to go to bed. I'm the adult." It's the line readings are so unique too. It's I guess there are people.
What does he say to her? Like, what? I'm a grown man, orphan.
I'm a grown man.
Just being this man-child crying on his daughter's bed. Like, it's funny.
And she's carrying him up, right? She's carrying him up to bed. The daughter. That's something your daughter should never have to do for you.
She's so worried about him. Exactly the way he was worried about his dad as well. Like, just being different from, like, she's a girl, he's a dude. But it was very much that. Like, it changed. It switched there. And it just showed, it's like that line that the coroner threw when Jim was like, I'm a dad. And he was like, no, you're not. Like, it kind of mixed into that because, like, no, you're still a man-child hung up with your daddy issues. So, and you're not being a dad because you just drove your car deliberately into.
Oh yeah, I got so mad that I slammed it into a thing.
Yeah, this was from the airbag.
His vehicles have bad luck in his films. Smashing windows, driving them into things. Oh man. I know I'm just loaded up with hyperbole here, but I dig it. All right, so what are your favorite moments in this? I know we've talked about a lot, but if you had to show 3 moments of this film to somebody, what would you do?
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, showed 3 were...
Oh, and he hates backseat drivers.
Oh, yeah.
We're no saints.
Well, I would say probably, like, the beginning scene at the AA, because I just thought that was, like, so good. And, yeah, I think that could just as well, like, I mean, there's a trailer for you, like, because that's how this guy's whole story starts.
And oatmeal cookies. Remember when there's oatmeal cookies? Yeah, feel fine to go get one right now. And he just stares the person down as they're walking to go get those oatmeal cookies.
Yeah, I'm talking, but fine. Go get your oatmeal cookies, whatever. Like, don't mind me just standing here, like, trying to open up about my feelings. Yeah. Oh, wow. There's I need to think about this because it's a lot. Like, yeah, like I said, I love it when he goes and, like, attacks Brock. I know it sounds funny, but I mean, if you know the scene, you know it's so hysterical. Like, I mean, like, yeah, he goes to the dude's house. First, he uses his daughter that's lying in the hospital. He uses her finger to open her phone to get Brock's, like, address, obviously. Because the next scene, we just, like, hear the mother screaming because she thinks it's an intruder. Because he's wearing that, like, a T-shirt half wrapped around his face. The mom can't see it's, like, Officer John. And, like, he starts going off on Brock. Like, and when the mother sees, oh, no, it's John, she's like, what did you do? Starts hitting her son. Oh, gosh,
that's my favorite. I love that part, too. Oh, it's so good. Because the mom gets his back. Oh,
exactly. She's like, immediately. Because, I mean, that's the thing. If you see an officer is going off on your teenage boy, you know your teenage boy did something wrong. I love that, too. Also, like, it's so implied. Like, you little bastard, what did he do?
You are a bad cop. Remember this? They cut the square off? Well, maybe they did it because they're trophy hunters. What? Like, you... Oh, no, we haven't talked about this yet, but I do like the scene where his daughter's getting ready to go meet Brock, and she does that little dance in front of the mirror.
Shimmy. Yeah, like, and I need the cute girl vibe. Oh, gosh,
It was just so random. I loved it. It was just such a neat little... And also, like, she had a Love Witch poster in her room.
Oh, wow. Oh, I didn't see that. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, that movie, I love that movie. The movie's bonkers. Not bonkers. I love the tone. I read that the director for Love Witch, he had a really hard time making it on set because a lot of, like, the dudes on set just didn't get the vibe of the movie. And so she had to fight them to make her movie. Depressing. I just took us into a spot there. But, no, okay, so I think the Middle Ages scene, too, where he's talking about the werewolf, you gotta show that, because that's just funny.
And the library scene.
Oh, you would have gotten killed. If you were somebody else, you would have been shot. And it's such a nice librarian.
Yeah, shame. He's like, I'm sorry, like, it's just, like, you know, they're calling for you on the walkie-talkie thing. Like, I mean, it's just, that was hysterical. Oh. But so many lines that I love, like, I mean, yeah, there's really some good stuff. I love also when, I've got a couple of lines that I just wrote down randomly that I love. I love when, obviously Julia takes over, like, the one meeting that they've got, and she's, like, talking about, yeah, so, you know, they were, like, wolf teeth marks on the body and stuff. So if everybody sees that Michael J. Fox character walking around and everyone's like, ha ha ha, and she's like, yeah, everybody laughs until she lays out the crime scene photos. It's just so good. I absolutely live for the dialogue in this movie. I really love all the little lines and quips. What did she also say? Yeah, well, Chavez thinks Men in Black is a documentary. When he's asking her, do you think it's a wolf? And she's like, no. Why do you even have to ask? And he's like, well, Chavez and then thinks it's. And she's like, well, Chavez thinks Men in Black is a documentary. So
she knows how to deal with him, doesn't she? She really does.
Yeah. I mean, hats off to obviously Julia. Like, she's like, you know, I think how most women feel like, yeah, we just need to deal with all of you, honestly, because you guys are not always easy to deal with.
No, I'm not saying
we are, but you get what I'm saying. Like, because that's the thing. You can see her anger too. You know, like that where she's like questioning Jeremy and his buddy in the beginning. And he just all of a sudden, like, he's weird with her, like, oh, do you have a warrant? Blah, blah, blah. And then he calls her a stupid name behind her back. And you can see just her face walking away. Like, she's got anger too, but she doesn't let it get to her. She doesn't let it affect her. She focuses on what needs to be done and not on, like, men being petty and stupid to her, you know, which that's what makes her so great. Like, she's like the aspiring one, like, aspired to be like Officer Julie. You know? Like,
and when Jeremy's telling her the story, he doesn't say the actual word he said. He's like, yeah, I called him an asshole. And he lies about that. Oh, but I got to add in, I think my favorite part too. Oh, yeah. So I want to write an article about just my favorite, like, since maybe 2010, my favorite stills from horror films, and I would definitely include the wide shot of the werewolf on the road looking at his victim, because that's a great shot. And I felt bad for her because remember that character, before she gets killed, she's going to go to her boyfriend's house who's a total jerk, and her friend's like, oh, I don't want you to go through this, don't do that. And she's like, well, next time you pick the one guy who actually likes me. It's a really that's a lot
in
of
the small town
where
she doesn't have a lot of like options. I mean, that's the other thing too. It's like you don't want to be alone, you want to get a partner, but then you're in the small town where men are like they just drink. What does Jim say there in the beginning? I got drunk for the first time when I was 15 years old, and I turned to the kid next to me, I guess, and said, "This is what normal people must feel like."
Yes. Oh, what a beautiful scene. Oh, all that's great, but the John McEnroe moment's the best.
Yeah, I love the John. Love it every time.
John McEnroe. Chavez. Chavez is an interesting guy. Does he like John? They don't like each other, do they?
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people like John that much, really. I mean, like, and you can't blame them. Like, there's this the one crime scene as well where he's like, to whom is he speaking? I can't remember, but he says something like, "You're a bad police officer. You should have pursued computer sciences because you're bad at this."
Yeah. You got your online degree.
Like, I mean, that's how he talks to people and stuff. So, you know, yeah, he's not the most likable guy because he's got some issues dealing with people. Like, and I think, yeah, I mean, I love it also that it's like a cop thing because kind of comes with the territory when you're so focused on having to do your job. That you kind of forget that you're dealing with people. I love in the end also when the last scene with the AA starts and he's like, Yeah, so this is going to be a difficult thing to do. And then he's talking about the speech or the thing that he's going to say in the AA, but then it cuts to him having to deliver all the victims' stuff back to their families and close people. So he's saying, yeah, this is going to be a difficult thing to do. And then the next shot is him like, hi, I'm just going to delivering this to you. Could you sign here? Like he's doing it so like cold and like, what's the word? Like that's the process and that's what you need to do.
Like withdrawn or not withdrawn?
Yeah, like you would think that's the difficult part of it is to go and give the family the stuff of their loved ones. But he's talking about his speech in the end, not that. I also love that little thing. I don't know if you've seen it, and maybe it's just me, but if you watch it again, just check that little cut when he starts talking and he says, this is going to be difficult to do. And then it shows him talking to people and he's like not having difficulty doing that at all.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
it's
yeah.
that procedural thing that he's so used to doing with his job and stuff. And I think it's also like, where do you lose your humanity in all of it? It's like when you're so focused on having to do the right thing for your job and whatever, but also you're dealing with people and it's bad. And I just think this movie was very good, like showing all these stuff coming together and yeah, how terrible and grotesque it can look, really, because it's also very true. I mean, anyway.
It's a good movie.
Did I go dark now?
No, it's great. That's why this movie just packs so much into 80 minutes. I love it.
So much.
And it also makes me happy that Jim follows Movies, Films, and Flicks on Twitter. And he's also a fan of Reddit, so I wonder if he learned about Movies, Films, and Flicks from Reddit. Because he likes to go to public freakouts and watch that the page. So I wonder if he heard about Lundgren's Front Kick. What do you think?
Yeah.
He also follows 25,000 other people, but I'm one of them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
Any final thoughts about this movie before we get out of here?
Yeah, just everyone watch it, and if you've seen it, watch it again. Like, I just really love this movie, and it's one of my favorite recent movies, if not my favorite one, because I think it's the one that I've seen the most now. It's a joy every time to see it because like the acting also, like, and we just props to the acting. Robert Foster's last role, like that was, also like something, and it was beautiful. He was great.
Mm-hmm.
They're all just really, really great in this. Jim is just like I don't know, he's like a revelation for me. He's really good. He's got these little like micro acting moments that I just live for. Every time, like, especially in the beginning, like he tries to deal with his anger by just closing his eyes and like doing the slow turn with his face. He does it so well. It's like you can see him like, is he counting 1, 2, 3 in his head? Is he doing that whole thing? And the acting just in general, very, very good. Obviously, Julia, fantastic. I love Ricky. She's great.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see her in more stuff. All in all, I gush over this movie a lot. And I'm so glad we finally could be able to dedicate an entire episode to this because I want more people to see it and talk about it because I think it's really good.
I agree. Watch it now. Go buy it.
Now, immediately.
Do it. Promote this movie to everyone you know. They will enjoy it. It's good. Well, this is fun. What's next? What are we doing next?
What are we doing next? We should, are we going to stick with the horrors? I feel like...
Yeah, I guess.
We do a lot of horrors. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, just let me know.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, maybe like a Hunter x Hunter. Ooh, or no. Neither of us can write a review about The Dark and the Wicked, so maybe we should just talk about it.
Yeah, okay. I'm in. It's on Shudder now, so I can watch it.
Do we, though? Ooh.
I love
That's
it.
a tough one. That's a tough one for me.
I'll tell you what, though. There's movies that are much heavier than Dark and the Wicked. For me. Dark and the Wicked never felt oppressive.
For you.
Oh, for me.
I'm sorry, this is all about you. I forgot. This is Mark's podcast. I'm so sorry. I don't know, it never overwhelmed me, so I'm excited. And you might have to get
that have, you might have that, but I don't know. I love it. Yeah, let's do that. I can't.
It is good. Yeah, no, listen. I mean, it is an overwhelming movie, but then just like you get at the end and then it's very satisfying. So, yeah, so watch The Will of Snow Holler and then go watch The Dark and the Wicked and then tune in for our part on that. Let's do that.
All right, that sounds great. So, thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Right. That's fun.
So, for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, and wait just a second. So, for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, and for Zandi, okay, here we go. I messed up on Mark Hoffmeyer. It's getting bad. All right. So for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, and for Zanandi Boetis, this is Movies from the Flicks. We'll see you next week.